thing.
Yeah. So they like the first set they take this review to go to the end and start the time.
Okay.
We need like 10 more minutes. Or we could go back to the next one.
Or we could play Canon and D, like sight reading.
Okay, no, I didn't even bring it.
Let's do the Mozart and see what we do.
Yeah.
Is the bridge supposed to lean this much? Oh, look at this. The bridge. This isn't mine, so like whatever. Or extra.
For the seniors. So when the seniors come, so I'll tell you. Just be ready to be 5 minutes or so.
So should we just
Just hang tight, too.
yeah. And she also getting kind of It's kind of getting cold. J. Crew.
Heidi. Let's do the Ave Mary.
Right now? I'm gonna take it out. 'Cause
Could play more.
Morning. If comfortable and able to do so, would you mind remaining standing for the invocation? In this morning, present and anchored as one unified whole, we have arrived and we are together. This moment, deep within, is a wellspring of love. We come to this place humbled and joyful. We honor those that are here, our students, their families, their friends. And we acknowledge those unable to join and those no longer with us. We are reminded of their influence and care. To those graduating, we know your good nature. You are blessed. This is the life you live. Please be seated.
Thank you. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, Deerfield faculty and staff, my fellow trustees, Dr. Austin, our proud families and friends, and most importantly, the remarkable class of 2026. I am Layla Govey, an alumna from the class of 1993, a proud Deerfield parent, myself, and president of the Academy's Board of Trustees. Before I go further, I'd like to ask the class of 26 to join me in thanking the extraordinary faculty and staff led by Dr. Austin for their unwavering dedication and care, and your parents and families for giving you the opportunity of Deerfield. Last year, I spoke to the senior class about their future selves, 40 and 50 years from now, and how Deerfield would still be present in their lives. I gave them the data. For the benefit of the parents who were not here last year, that number was around 90%. 90% was the probability that someone sitting next to you today would help you find a job, would one day be at your wedding, or become a close friend, even if you barely knew them today. So you already know what the future looks like when it comes to the people next to you under this tent, and that Deerfield will remain forever a part of your lives. But why? Why does Deerfield remain so present in people's lives long after graduation, in ways many schools and even universities do not? Well, a few days ago, as you know, I asked all of you, the class of 26, and I have to mention, I got a 92% response rate on that poll, which is unheard of in the world of polling. I was so impressed until I found out that it was none other than Miss Cray, I'm not sure what Miss Cray is, oh yes, right here, who sent it out. And that is the one person that we all respond to. Sorry, Dr. Austin. Your answers were striking. I asked you to pick the 3 most important things that you learned during your time at Deerfield, and you could have chosen anything. The number 1 answer, chosen by 84% of you, was building meaningful relationships with others. The second was showing up for others, and the third was understanding people different from yourself. At one of the most academically rigorous schools in the country, your top 3 lessons were not about achievement. They were about people. And I think that tells us something important. When you leave home to come to a place like Deerfield, what you don't quite realize when you first arrive is that this place teaches you how to be present, habits of heart and mind. that Deerfield asks you to practice every day as roommates, teammates, and classmates, navigating trust, disagreement, friendship, and responsibility. Those lessons do not replace what you have been taught at home, they deepen it and contextualize it. And perhaps most importantly, they test it every day for 3 or 4 years. And that's why you rank them above everything else. It's also why Deerfield relationships endure. Shared experiences, shared values, and years of showing up for one another, those are the kind of relationships that last. You know, it takes most people a lifetime to figure those things out. And all of you were able to begin doing that here. As board president, I'm incredibly proud. As a parent of a graduating senior myself, I'm deeply grateful. And as someone who sat where you're sitting 33 years ago, I can tell you this. Deerfield does remain with you, not simply as a memory of your time here, but the friendships you build, the way you show up for others, and the person you become. Today, after you cross the stage and receive your diploma, you become Deerfield alumni. And that diploma marks not an ending, but the beginning of a lifelong connection to this valley and a responsibility to be worthy of what this place asked of you and of who it helped you become. This is what your parents hoped for you when they sent you to Deerfield, not simply an excellent education for the past 4 years, but a community that will shape you for the next 40 and beyond. This is Deerfield at its best, and it's yours now and always. Congratulations, class of 26.
Good morning. For those of you who are interested, that was a modified version of the Eric Widmer inverted gauntlet procession in here. We've had to improvise a little bit with the rain, but you guys were awesome. Thank you, Layla, and a warm welcome to everyone. Deerfield families, faculty, friends, trustees, and not least, the great and truly awesome class of 2026. Congratulations. I also wanted to extend the warmest of welcomes to our commencement speaker, Elliot Ackerman, and his family for being with us this morning. Elliot, we're delighted to have you with us on this amazing day. I wanted to begin with some thanks, since there are many who have made the blessings of this particular day possible. I want to thank our Board of Trustees, past and present, who built this extraordinary school and whose wisdom has guided it through the decades. Much of their work is invisible, but essential, and I'm deeply grateful for this board's engagement and leadership. And I wanted to offer my particular thanks to our board president and proud parent of a graduating senior, Layla Govey. Layla leads with grace and humility and a great love of this school, and we're truly fortunate to have her. Thank you, Layla. If you walk this campus early in the morning, especially in the spring, you see it in all its tremendous beauty. You also see that rain, shine, snow, or sleet, it is alive with the efforts of our staff, tending the grounds, preparing for amazing events like this one, doing the thousands of things that allow our faculty to teach and our students to learn. This year, they had the added challenge of closing down our temporary dining hall and opening the brick mid-year, which they did without a hitch. I've been in schools now for almost 40 years, and I will say this, Deerfield staff is simply without peer, so let's thank them. Rory and Daisy spoke with great eloquence on behalf of your class at awards night. about the transformative impact this faculty has had on you. As Daisy said, you've changed us in ways we'll always carry. I join your entire class and your families in thanking our faculty for their commitment, creativity, energy, and inspiration, and their bedrock belief in your promise and potential. Thank you. One member of our faculty retires today after 37 years, Cheryl Koyama. Ms. Koyama arrived at Deerfield in 1989, just as coeducation was taking flight again. She was one of a small number of female faculty who helped it find its wings, and she's touched the lives of thousands of Deerfield graduates, as well as those of her colleagues, for whom she has been a model of generosity and selflessness. So please, Cheryl, where are you? I can't, it's pitch black up here. Where are you? Most of all, we give thanks to your families, your first teachers. They've come from across the country and the world to celebrate this day. Without their sacrifice and love, you would not have arrived at this moment. And in that way, this day is as much theirs as it is yours. I know I speak for all of my colleagues at Deerfield when I say to your families that we're deeply grateful for the trust you have placed in us and for the gift of sharing in the lives of your children. This is Deerfield's 227th commencement. It's extraordinary to think that we are part of something that has endured for so long. For just a moment, I'd like to take you back to the end of the 18th century. I recently reread Deerfield's founding charter entitled An Act for Establishing an Academy in the Town of Deerfield, approved by the Massachusetts Senate and House of Representatives on March 1st, 1797, and subsequently signed by then Governor Samuel Adams on June 9th of the same year. Adams was a revolutionist, a statesman, an early advocate for female education, and signer of the Declaration of Independence. The founding of this academy coincided with two events of tremendous importance: the establishment of this country and a great movement across the emerging nation to create academies of learning for what our charter calls the common good. These two events, one of political establishment and the other educational, are in fact one and the same, expressions mutually reinforcing and deeply dependent on one another of a shared project and aspiration. On July 4th, we will mark the 250th anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence, our semi-quincentennial. Statesmen like Adams understood that declarations and constitutions were necessary for self-government, but they were wise enough to know that they were also insufficient. They understood that this country's national experiment in self-governance would not and could not last without a comparably ambitious experiment in education, without what our charter explicitly calls liberal education. That is, education directed to the responsible and thoughtful exercise of liberty. So they created schools, many hundreds of them, like Deerfield, as another way, almost another branch of government, to support and protect the integrity of that great and always unfinished experiment we mark symbolically on July 4th. And as we celebrate your graduation, itself a kind of Independence Day, I think it's worth recalling this history, the original purpose of your school, Deerfield. As you know so well from your American history classes, ours is one of the only forms of government intended to be conducted through public discussion and debate. That is why the Declaration of Independence takes the form of a persuasive argument, even as its authors publicly declared their rebellion, inviting the war that would follow. They felt an obligation to submit their thinking to the world, to justify, to give reasons. A decent respect for the opinions of mankind, its authors wrote in the very first sentence of that declaration, require that they explain themselves. A decent respect for the opinions of mankind. I've always admired that phrase. When seen in the broader context of the American Enlightenment, it suggests an entire philosophy of government conducted through dialogue, persuasion, and compromise, of education dedicated to the habits of respect and openness, reason-giving, and pluralism, and of schools created so that young people could gather to practice and perfect those habits. This, I would suggest to you, is one of the purposes of your Deerfield education, and it is one of the many things that we celebrate today. Not simply learning how to think, that has become a bit of a cliche, but learning how to think together, to think in the collective. That is why the rhetorical arts of writing and persuasion and dialogue were so important to that early generation of schoolmakers. They knew that a flourishing republic requires a lettered, deeply literate citizenry capable of deliberation, dialogue, and collective judgment. The educator and political scientist Danielle Allen, who spoke to us earlier in the year, reminds us that one of our great challenges is to learn how to respect, relate, and cooperate across lines of difference. It seems so simple, but we all know that it's easier said than done. But that is what a school like Deerfield, at its best, is about. Bringing young people together from across this country and globe to think, to learn, and to live with one another. Class of 2026, you have done this beautifully, magnificently. Throughout the life of the academy, in the classroom, in the residence halls, on your teams, in your ensembles and performances, you've brought energy, imagination, joy, and intellect. And this is one of the things I most admire about you. Again and again, you've lifted one another and made one another better, renewing with your collective engagement the goodness of this school and the promise of our charter's founding hope. What has distinguished your class is not so much what you've achieved individually, though your many accomplishments are impressive and well-deserved. They often just take my breath away. What's really distinguished your class during your time here is what you've achieved and created together, and ultimately what you've left for those who follow, the classes of 2029, 2028, and 2027, our rising seniors who surround you and next year will take up your legacy. You've led the way with generosity, humor, kindness, and friendship, setting an example you should be proud of, and of which we are very proud of. And for this, we are deeply grateful, and I take great joy in knowing that your journey is now forever a part of the Deerfield story. And wherever you go next, know that Deerfield will be with you. Class of 2026, congratulations and Godspeed. Now I'm delighted to welcome to the podium our two extraordinary and exemplary seniors, Patrick and Alora. I have no idea who's speaking first. Patrick, you're up. I correct myself. Alora, you're up.
In the fall of my freshman year, I had a sweatshirt I loved. It was a dark blue, oversized UVA hoodie. And I woke up one morning to find it missing. After scouring my dorm and the lost and found to no avail, I accepted that I would see it no more. Around the same time, I had become a passionate shriver. For our guests, Shriv is a tradition where every Friday, a band of intrepid students meet at 7 a.m., march down to the lower fields, tear off our jackets, and run into the Deerfield River. On the fourth Friday of our shriving season, half asleep and walking with the pack down to the river, what did I notice out of the corner of my eye? Yes, it was my Virginia sweatshirt. The thief was not a classmate, nor anybody I knew, but rather a senior boy who at that time was Shriv captain and Doubleday proctor. My sweatshirt was literally leading the path, sprinting down to the river. Good morning, family, friends, teachers, my fellow students, and honored guests. Welcome, and thank you for being here today on this lovely day. It is a great honor to speak on behalf of the great class of 2026. I ask you, audience members, what would have you done in my place? Confronted the senior who was wearing your sweatshirt? Accepted your freshman fate? I did the latter, but serendipity had other intentions. Soon I was placed on my second ever sit-down rotation. With who? You guessed it, the sweatshirt stealer. I could not let this destiny go to waste. So one night, when he was not at dinner, I confided in the other seniors at the table. They sprang at the opportunity to solve my dilemma. And at our next sit-down meal, we humorously called him out, and I was soon in possession of my hoodie and gained new senior friends. From then on, when sporting my Virginia sweatshirt around campus, I got their knowing looks and high fives. The successful conclusion of this story hinged on two decisions to step out of my comfort zone at Deerfield. One, joining the crazy dedicated band of Shrivers, and two, taking the chance to address an uncomfortable challenge with seniors at my sit-down. My experience with the Virginia hoodie convinced me of the power of doing hard things and engaging deeply with a broad range of people. When I turned up as a freshman from Singapore, this was not the reality I saw. Most people, including myself, played it safe. We hung out with those we thought were conventionally cool or normal, often those who looked like us and had similar upbringings. It was sad, and it was hard to feel like I belonged in a class that felt so far from one another. After a while, though, we all realized it was better to take a chance on one another, and that the word normal was frankly overrated. I see this sentiment in my bio research class, made of the seemingly incompatible characters Rich Joe, Tegan Farley, John Liu, Ryan Bai, Owen Ha, Beckett Bear, Julianne, and Owen Babb. As now, more often than not, we keel over in laughter after the bell rings, discussing which lab materials are edible. I see this sentiment when we spontaneously play Manhunt on a Wednesday night with the zany bunch made up of Kira Austin, Hart Robertson, Rose Manning, Reed Kitchell, Joshua Graham, and many more. I see this on the sidelines of a girls' hockey team, cheering alongside Captain Jaron Crosby, Harmony Dobbins, Tai Fung, and Ilsa Borgen. I see this every Monday night at 9:45 when the girls of Johnson 2 pile into the common room as we embrace our quirks, eating pickles and fruit roll-ups. I think that what I'm trying to say here is that for me, Deerfield became Deerfield when I committed myself to everyone and forwent the path of comfort. Here I am reminded of a line from Khalil Gibran's poem On Houses. He wrote that, "Verily the lust for comfort murders the passion of the soul." And as you know, I try to keep mine. To my fellow underclassmen, I challenge you every day to take the opportunity to do hard things and try to get to know as many students and faculty in your time here. Catch the day in flight. Engage with people that you otherwise would not have. If this is too much to ask, I ask simply this. Talk to someone in your class that you haven't really gotten to know on the way to lunch. To the class of 2027, you will soon be Deerfield seniors. I urge you to lead by example and expand your circle of friends, your circle of influence, your human capital. The thing about Deerfield is while it does feel like your opportunities are boundless, your time is fleeting. It goes by faster than you think. It seems obvious, but because we do not go to a day school, the odds of bumping into my classmates and teachers on a day-to-day basis after I graduate are close to zero. I won't hear Ella Wag's booming laughter from across the street. I won't see Dr. Friends walking her dog. I won't see Jesse Gachago with a smile on his face filming at the local track meet. I won't bump into Miss Samawi buying lemonade at the grocery store. I won't see my great Gamma tennis partners, Eugenia Levion and Karen Park, on the tennis courts. I mean, the odds are low of seeing Shriv captains Sophie Camille, Cece Kramer, Xander Oth, and Cole Rorick on the banks of the Singapore River. You get the gist, juniors. Cherish it all. To the class of 2026, my best friends, we did it. Although we may not like it, Deerfield is not the center of the universe, and our lives here have been, ironically, relatively comfortable. We are surrounded by the embrace of dark green sycamores and teachers who have inspired us to become more than we ever thought we could be. We salute you. So, as we step into a world of echo chambers and increasing fragmentations, remember what we've learned here. To sing together, to laugh together, to revere the soil on which we live, to learn together, to be a family, always. I'm inspired by you all. Thank you for teaching me what it means to call a place home. You are all a part of the passion of my soul. Here is where it all began. And I end today with nothing but gratitude. And if I might offer one more piece of advice, go to Shriv. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. That was incredible. Before I start, I'd like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Lucentini for allowing me to tell this story. Thaddeus William Lucentini graduated from St. Paul's School, New Hampshire, as a member of the class of 2025. Just a year ago, he went through the same roller coaster of emotions we're all running through today. I'm sure many of us can conjure up portraits of members of the previous class we hold near and dear to our hearts. In his senior year at St. Paul's, Lucentini was a beloved member of the school's orchestra. He was a house prefect, and he wrote for the school newspaper. He was brilliant and radiant. Kyle Gump, his high school friend, described him as having a rare blend of curiosity and enthusiasm. His father, Eric Lucentini, said he was a very sociable kid. He loved to make friends. He just always wanted to make others happy. All these things are true. I met Thad, as his friends would call him, very briefly. as we overlapped at Eaglebrook School right up the hill from here. Although I didn't know him well, I remember him for his smile as he rushed up and down the hallways. His coworkers at the Greenfield Big Y knew him for his incredible work. It was no surprise to me when I heard last year that he'd received an appointment to attend the United States Military Academy at West Point and received a full ride scholarship to Cornell. Thad was the exemplary student you could picture as a classmate at any school. He's the kind of person we all aspire to be at Deerfield. This is why I was so surprised when I got a phone call this fall. My buddy Gratian Ting, a close friend of Thad, said he was coming up to Greenfield from Georgetown for the weekend. It was only later that he revealed to me he was here for Thad's funeral. On October 13th, 2025, Thad took his own life. The reason I'm telling this story today is because hearing about Thad made me reflect on myself. It made me thankful for Deerfield itself. The spring before coming into Deerfield, when I was a 9th grader at Eaglebrook, I experienced my own struggles. My father, who's in the crowd right now, a man who I watched cry for the first time that summer, ditched his job for a month to turn me into a day student. I love you, Dad. So I came into Deerfield expecting nothing from myself, only that I wanted to see some sort of normalcy again. Far away from weekly counseling sessions spent staring at hardwood floors or mindlessly contemplating meaningless cliches like things will get better, plastered over the walls. I didn't want to miss playing wiffle ball on the quad with my friends or a JV lacrosse game at Eaglebrook. I didn't want to talk about my feelings with other people. I just wanted to be a kid again. I buried my struggles, hoping never to see or talk about them again. I took up sports and clubs here at Deerfield. I did bike rides down to the Stillwater Cliffs and spent countless nights laughing at Adam Sandler movies with friends over pizza. I met people like Cole, who used to hunt Doubledays mice with an airsoft gun as a freshman. He's now a proctor in LM, and to this day, I still don't know how they let that happen. Along with Magnus and Ethan, his co-proctors, they run some of the craziest dorm activities I've ever had the honor to be involved in. From root beer pong feeds to chair jousting tournaments, we built some of the most fun dorm culture I've ever seen. We even did a full contact football match on the JL quad with all the proctees when we got 3 feet of snow this past winter. I hope the LM boys will cherish these memories forever. Still beside all this, slowly the past I buried before freshman year began to sprout. From the fall to the winter of this year, it felt like I'd returned to that 9th grader I used to be. I struggled, but I was scared to tell my parents about it this time. I was scared that I would have been ripped away from the community I had built again. I didn't want to tell others I was late to a class because of a counseling appointment or meeting with a psychiatrist. For some reason, I felt it was the most humiliating and performative thing in the world to have to hand in that green health center slip before class after every community time. I thought things would never get better. I had flunked my college essays simply because I didn't have the mental capacity to write them, and it felt like the railroad my parents and I had forged for the last 18 years into my future would crumble. I wouldn't have guessed out of anything in the world that it would be Deerfield's very own students who pulled me through that dark time. While at dinner one night in late fall with John Liu, I briefly mentioned that things weren't going great. I didn't feel like trying in school anymore, and I was barely sleeping. Little did I know that the impact of this interaction would have. Over the next couple of weeks, people I didn't think were that close to me began calling me and texting me, making sure that I was okay. I remember Michael Clifford Levy, a student I had barely interacted with since he taught me to play golf freshman year, called me one night to tell me he cared about me. I remember crying over the phone to him. I remember Harmony Dobbins, who would always make a point to talk about life, even in the little moments we had commuting to class together. I remember Haley Hickman, who put up with text messages about my struggles, even over breaks with a 12-hour time difference. I'd like to thank Owen Fleck, whose ironclad poise always made me feel solid when we talked. There are too many to mention. From everybody that has smiled and said hi to me as we walk past each other on Albany Road, to the kids that have helped spot me in the gym or joked as I finished math homework in between sets, I really do love you all. As we depart from Deerfield today, some for the rest of our lives, others for merely a summer, I implore you all to talk with your friends and the people you pass on the daily. To never think that you are alone or that any mistake you have made or anything that has gone awry will forever define you. Treasure the people you call your friends, especially the ones you share this tent with today. Love them wholeheartedly. These are the souls you'll know for the rest of your lives. These are the people you'll ask to be the godparents to your children. These are the people that have supported you through sports games, theater productions, and class discussions. Love them. Call them. Don't just text. Write them a letter once in a while. Make it a point to visit them whenever you can. Video them just for the sake of seeing their faces and hearing their voices. Deerfield is a place built upon the fact that we show up for each other, that we show up for the people not just closest to us, but everybody around us. We buy into each other's lives as if they were our own. As we go on, I know we'll buy into everybody else's too. Thank you.
Patrick, thank you. Laura, thank you so much. This has been a week of celebrations and recognitions, and we reserve 2 awards for commencement. The first prize is the Deerfield Cup, which is given to that student in the senior class whose spirit of friendship, artistry in the classroom, sportsmanship, and daily conduct among fellow students has best exemplified Deerfield's ideals. The characteristics that distinguish this student are kindness, courage, and good cheer, a warm, caring friend, a generous, inclusive community leader, as well as a provocative and compelling classroom contributor. This student radiates optimism and confidence. She is assertive without being dogmatic and passionate without sacrificing her sense of humor. She doesn't seek the spotlight, but is endlessly generous with her time and patience all over campus. We admire her for her fearlessness, for her mature insight, and for the joy she has brought into our lives. On her birthday, the winner of the Deerfield Cup this year is Vacacia Lee Rivera. The second prize is the Robert B. Crow Award, which goes to the outstanding scholar in the senior class. An impressive analyst, close reader and careful listener, and fluid writer, this student has demonstrated remarkable intellectual versatility, excelling in every academic discipline. One of his teachers notes his deep appreciation of education as a collective pursuit, unfailingly respectful to his fellow classmates. This student is a quietly joyful, probing, and nuanced thinker who applies his gifts with remarkable humility, testing questions to push his peers' thinking forward in meaningful ways. With respect and admiration for all you have accomplished, and grateful for your contributions to Deerfield's intellectual community, we present the Robert Crow Award to John Thomas Galley. Tomorrow is Memorial Day, first observed in 1868, not long after the conclusion of the Civil War. It reminds us that many of the opportunities and freedoms we enjoy today were not won without sacrifice or loss. Our speaker this morning, Mr. Elliot Ackerman, has served our country with honor and distinction as a decorated Marine Corps veteran, as a White House fellow, and after leaving the military, a great chronicler of this country's most recent wars, and I'm honored to introduce him to you. Mr. Ackerman completed 5 tours of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's been awarded the Purple Heart, the Bronze Star for Valor, and the Silver Star. In awarding him the latter, his commanders wrote, "Second Lieutenant Ackerman's bold leadership, personal initiative, and total devotion to duty reflected great credit upon him and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service." Above all, Mr. Ackerman is a storyteller and a writer of remarkable breadth and power, of novels, essays, and memoir, including The Fifth Act, America's End in Afghanistan, a moving meditation on war, friendship, and most of all, duty, particularly our duty to those left behind. Mr. Ackerman's writing has appeared in The New Yorker, The Atlantic, The New Republic, The New York Times Magazine, Esquire, Time, and Harper's Magazine. He is the author of 9 books, and he's been nominated for the Dayton Literary Peace Prize, the National Book Award for Fiction, and the Andrew Carnegie Medal for Excellence in Fiction and Nonfiction. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Elliot Ackerman to Deerfield.
Dr. Austin, members of the faculty, trustees, parents, and especially Deerfield class of 2026. It's an honor to address you at your commencement. When I received this invitation, I was at first quite flattered and then a little perplexed. Why had I been selected for this honor? Yes, I'm a writer, so I can probably string together a few sentences. And yes, I am a school parent, so know this esteemed institution through my children. But I didn't attend Deerfield. I didn't even attend boarding school. I felt unqualified to contextualize what this experience might have meant in your lives. But then I remembered that I am an alumnus of another organization, one replete with its own storied history, an arcane mythology to rival yours, and a cultish devotion amongst its followers that lasts long after they graduate. That organization is the United States Marine Corps, and so here I am. Thank you. So your motto at Deerfield is, be worthy of your heritage. I think that's a pretty good motto. And it reminds me of the Marine Corps motto, which is the Latin semper fidelis, always faithful. But what does it mean to be worthy or faithful? How do we remain part of an institution after we've left it? And that's what I'd like to talk about today. So my path to the Marine Corps began in an unlikely place, Georgetown Day School in Washington, D.C. GDS was as progressive as they come in a school. We called our teachers by their first names, had open campus starting in 9th grade. We did not have sit-down meals. We didn't even have a cafeteria. We were encouraged to wander off campus to get lunch at the nearby Safeway, gas station, or Chinese restaurant. As for a school motto, we didn't have one of those either. We did have a mascot, though. Ours wasn't as ferocious or as intimidating as a green door. But it was pretty close. Ours was a fuzzy green grasshopper. You can imagine how at sports games a cry of "Go Hoppers!" struck fear into the hearts of our rivals. That is all to say that at the end of junior year, when I announced my intention to join the Marines, America's premier warfighting force, an institution known for storming beaches and ironclad discipline, it was met with a few raised eyebrows. A concerned school guidance counselor called my parents just to make sure everything was okay on the home front. I also wasn't the upstanding citizen you see before you today. My big interest then was skateboarding and hanging out with my best friend who was a budding DJ. I had never played a varsity sport and had a grade point average that wouldn't have gotten me into Deerfield, or had I been at Deerfield, a grade point average that surely would have landed me in Dr. Austin's office. But I wanted it, to become a Marine. I wanted the responsibility. I wanted to serve. I wanted to prove myself that I could do something hard. That I could belong to an organization and that I could earn a place within that culture. So after a little internet research, I downloaded the physical fitness standards I need to meet for Naval ROTC. I would need to do push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, and a run. That spring of my junior year, my father administered the test for me. I could do 6 push-ups, 15 sit-ups, and 0 pull-ups. I can't remember my run time, except to say that I walked most of it clutching my side. When the test was over, my father looked at me and said, "Well, I guess we have some work to do." And so we did, all summer. I came back for senior year transformed. That year, I lettered in 3 varsity sports. Granted, this was for the Hoppers, so it sounds more impressive than it was. And earned myself a Naval ROTC scholarship. Back in 1998, when I sat where you sit today at high school graduation, I was on my path to becoming a Marine officer. Interestingly enough, one of my classmates would follow a similar path. Thanksgiving a few years later, I was home for break. It was 2001, so September 11th had just happened, and America was headed to war. I went out one night to the 930 Club, a place where you can see live music in DC. And at the club, I bumped into a fellow Hopper, Rajai Haki, a Syrian-American kid in the class behind mine. He said he was glad that he bumped into me. He wasn't enjoying college. He felt it really wasn't for him. And after 9/11, he wanted to do something with more meaning. He said he'd heard that I was heading into the Marines as an officer and that he was thinking about dropping out of college to enlist. We talked a little bit about the Marine Corps. I offered him some advice and told him to call me if I could help. We went our separate ways, and I didn't think much of it. Until a few more years later. I was home for spring break. It was March 2003, 2 months before I would graduate college and become a second lieutenant in the Marines. America was about to invade Iraq. I sat at the breakfast table reading a copy of the Washington Post. They had published a feature called Faces of the Invasion. Portraits of service members sitting in Kuwait ready to enter Iraq. And there he was, Lance Corporal Rajai Haki, paralegal clerk, 3rd Marine Air Wing. Amazing, I thought. He had enlisted after all. He was a clerk, so I wasn't too worried about his safety. I saved the newspaper, also not thinking much of it. I still had a year of training to go before I would become an infantry officer. Now, fast forward another year and a half. It's October 2004. The insurgency in Iraq is raging. Al-Qaeda has shown up in force. I am now a rifle platoon commander leading 45 Marines in Iraq's restive Al-Anbar province, known as the Sunni Triangle or the Triangle of Death. The day before, in a dusty wisp of a town called Hit, members of Al-Qaeda in Iraq had marched into the town and murdered the local police chief and his officers. A single platoon of Marines outside of Hit had been in a running gunfight with Al-Qaeda's reinforcements all day when our battalion, 3 companies of Marines, about 600 of us, received orders to retake the town. So we drove through the night, arriving on the outskirts of Hit in the early hours of the morning. The plan was that our 3 companies, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, would advance into the town, with Bravo coming in from the north, Charlie from the east, and the company I served in, Alpha Company, coming up from the south. Railroad tracks and a berm bordered the south side of Hit. Our company would assault through an overpass into what we've been told were the teeth of Al-Qaeda's defensive positions. Our order of assault was 1st platoon, 2nd platoon, then 3rd platoon. I was the 1st platoon commander, so we'd be in the lead. In the pre-dawn darkness, the atmosphere was tense. Up and down our platoon column, Marines checked and rechecked equipment. One Marine, extremely nervous, stepped out of the column to get sick behind a Humvee. Standing with my radio operator, I made final calls to my company commander. One of the corporals in my platoon asked me some questions. hey, Lieutenant Ackerman, should we do X, Y, or Z? And I snapped back, no, make sure to. And then behind me in the darkness, I heard a voice. Ackerman? Lieutenant Elliot Ackerman? I turned around. Yeah, what? Dude, what's up? It's Rajai. Before Lance Corporal Rajai Hockey and I could exchange another word, my radio crackled to life. It was time to move, and the assault on HIT had begun. It took us most of the day to get through the town. In the early evening, as the sun was setting, we were able to stop and rest. What are you doing here? I finally asked Rajai. He explained that he'd been assigned as an interpreter to my company. He was Syrian American, after all, a fluent Arabic speaker, and so had been reassigned from the air wing to the infantry. Although that day's operation in HIT hadn't been too costly, we were getting ready to fight in Fallujah, a large battle that was coming next month. He would be with us throughout. It was really good to see a face from home. I told him there was something we needed to do before Fallujah. He knew exactly what I was talking about. The two of us climbed up onto a pile of rubble. In our Marine Corps combat uniforms, with our rifles slung across our chests, we posed for a photo for the Georgetown Day School Alumni Magazine. We tore off the cardboard side of a box of meals ready to eat and wrote a message in Sharpie on its back. Fallujah, Iraq, 2004, USMC, go Hoppers. A few weeks later, our platoon entered Fallujah, which would be the largest urban battle the Marine Corps had fought since Vietnam. We faced a lot of tough days during that month-long battle. Rajai was there the whole time. After that photo made it into our alumni magazine, it sat on the desk of a favorite English teacher of ours. He eventually retired. Years later, our school underwent a major renovation, moving into a new building. Part of that building was an alumni corridor, featuring different exploits of the school's graduates. As I mentioned, we had very progressive DNA in our school. So prominent among those graduates are social justice advocates, legislators, artists, and musicians. But positioned among them on the hall, and equally valued by our school, is that photograph of Rajai and me in 2004, posing proudly in our combat uniforms with our torn off half of a meals ready to eat box. That photograph is part of our school's heritage now, and part of the Marine Corps' heritage too. The heritage you carry isn't a singular heritage. Most of you are headed off to universities, which you have worked very hard to get into. Those schools have their own heritages. After that, many of you will join other organizations, businesses, law firms, the list goes on. Some of you will create organizations of your own and define new heritages. So let me give you a last piece of advice. When I was heading into the Marine Corps, I couldn't have been more enthusiastic. During my college years, while I was in Naval ROTC, I was so enthusiastic that I volunteered as an unpaid intern at the Pentagon during my Christmas breaks. Yeah, big nerd. Instead of taking a vacation, I sat at a desk in the bowels of the Pentagon doing menial work, and I loved it. During one internship, I worked for the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Special Operations and Low-Intensity Conflict. Basically, the civilian who ran special operations for the Pentagon. And early one morning, on the day after Christmas, I came into work. The office was empty, aside from a retired Navy SEAL who worked a few desks down from mine. I didn't know him well, but knew he had been highly decorated for valor and forced to medically retire after a parachute accident during the invasion of Panama. As I sat at my desk, wearing my Naval ROTC midshipman's uniform with my high and tight haircut, he came over to talk to me. He wished me a Merry Christmas and then said, "Hey, Ackerman, it's great that you're here trying to get experience and working so hard. I have a lot of respect for that. But let me give you some advice. I've worked with a lot of Marines over the years. Some great, some not so great. The ones who were the best at their jobs were always the ones who never forgot who they were before they became Marines. Don't you forget that either." Looking out at all of you, I see the young gentlemen in their class ties and blazers, and the young ladies in their white dresses. You all look great. How hard each of you has worked to reach this point, to wear today's uniform, to become a graduate of this esteemed institution. You define this institution, yet you are each unique. You are each defined by something you brought to this place before you became part of it. Protect that part of yourself at all costs. It's your special sauce. Never think of what makes you different as a liability. Your special sauce is what will allow you to make the greatest contribution to any endeavor. So, class of 2026, that's it for my advice. This day is the moment of divergence, the last time you will sit together as one. Imagine the many paths you will take, how far afield some of you will go. But rest assured, you will find each other later. That might be on a battlefield, in a boardroom, or simply when you bump into one another with your families on the beach and say hi. Every time you stand with each other after this day, you live your school motto as generations before you have done. In my alma mater, the Marine Corps, we call that Semper Fidelis, always faithful. In your alma mater, Deerfield, you call that heritage. Whatever you call it, it's about being true to an institution, to its ideals, and ultimately to yourself. It's a great thing to be from a place like this place. Class of 2026, you are forever from Deerfield Academy, and on that, we congratulate you.
We will now present the diplomas to the class of 2026. Patrick Zhang. Robert James Callender. Beckett Hardy Baird. Sophia Gao. Reed Potter Kitchell. Reed William McCoy. French Dotson Pope IV. Kwesi Otang Adujemfi. Nathan Adu Jaby. Sungmin An. Mateo Phipps Alvarez. Reagan Alexandra Amundsen. Ethan Andrew Amundsen. Campbell Becton Ardrey. Kiera Elizabeth Austin. Alexander Thomas Oth. Owen David Babb. Ryan Bai. Olivia Oldham Baker. Jane Elizabeth Bannon. Cole Ryan Barrett. Tamutenda Nastasia Basvi. Clementine Sinesh Beanland. Kaylin Murphy Beardsley. Bishop Robert Benham. Holly Turner Bernstein. Ilsa Tatum Borgen. Eva Van Alsten Bramwell. Charlotte Alexandra Brooker. Cooper Alexander Brozick. Joaquim Albuquerque Melo de Sacavalcante. Griffin Riley Siepel. Eris Chang. Joanna Chang. Richard Giacomo Chapman. Nina Tinchu Chen. Alexander Chutko. Chloe Ames Cleaves. Michael Lewis Clifford Levy. John Carmen Kamate. Charlotte Alexandra Cootie. Cecilia Mirabel Kramer. Henry Everett Thomas Cron. Jaron Jason Buckner Crosby. Magdalena Agata Tsuria. Quinn Calloway DeGroot. Alora Indira DeVitri. Alexander Darius Junich. Ariana Amelia Junich. Harmony Jolene Dobbins. Eleanor Quay DuPont. Tyler Easterbrook. Tegan Kathleen Farley. Riley Bowen Farmer. Tai Fang. Yueling Marco Feng. Charlotte Dillon Firestone. Owen Patrick Fleck. Jack Douglas Forsyth. Isabel Dinkiewicz Tedesco Fraga. Joshua Eric Freeman. Leo Daniel Friedman. Sophie Ella Frost. Jesse Mwagi Gachago. Zoe Galaberta. Lauren Mabel Galley. John Thomas Galley. Travis Audrey Gerst. Brian Gomez Oliveira Gianvecchio. Ava Catherine Giroux. William Tucker Gongoer. Tommaso Laith Govey. Joshua Michael Austin Graham. Charles Ford Haight. Theodore Hamada. Rory Fabian Bobby Hartley. Owen Tong Ha. Haley Chan Hickman. Jaden Michael Hierro Komarnicki. Cole Aiden Higgins. Harry Staffier Holtz. Yulia Horowitz. Matthew Kenneth Huff. Winston Joseph Huber. Shahana Javazadeh. Gavin Langston Jeffries. Cooper Hoyt Johnson. Mason K. Johnson. Keone Casey Hannah Jones. Josephine Anna Kalish. Sophie Camille. Lila Grace Kier. Jack Templeton Keller. Victor Tabula Chibuka. Laura Song Kim. Isabel Annette Kirby. Evelyn Youngman Kundi. Cooper Shane Lawson. Elliot Damian Lennon. Eugenia Dolores Leviant. John Key Le. Martin Leo. Tyler Christopher Long. Annie Eleanor Loring. Jessica Iragi LaRue. Luca Reinhardt Lyons. Lucas McCann. William Frederick Macknick. Jean May Mangan LaRouche. Rose McGovern Manning. Anthony John Mariani. Griffin Paul Mariani. Michael Douglas McColgan. Cormac Augustin McDowell. Charlotte Christina McFadgen. Michael Ryan McGrath. Michaela Raquel Rihanna Meertens. Jean Lucas Meza Moran. Harrison J. Miles. Jacob Tolsman Moeller.
Thanks, Dr. Austin.
Vivian Monopoly. Margaret Elizabeth Monroe. Mateo Augusto Morales. Connor Christopher Mudd. Kobe Kenneth Moore. Arabella Catherine Navab. Mia Newman. Catherine W. Nee. Jonathan Guillermo Ocasio. Elizabeth Russell Oliver. Henry Jackson Oliver. Lila Ortiz. Max UK Pang. Jimin Karen Park. Hazel Marianne Patton. Oliver Dixon Peruzzi. Olivia Rosemary Port. Dominic Alexander Puccinelli. Ruby Ellen Remillard. Andrew David Rivera. Vicacia Lee Rivera. Collins Hart Robertson. Charlotte Sky Rowland. Daisy Grace Rowland. Cole Jeremy Rorick. Jonathan Anderson Sema. Alexander Salvo. Oscar Yoon Sanford. Hazel Liska Secker. Magnus Forrest Selvig. Braden James Serwer. Henry David Shearer. Rudransh Shukla. Sophie Hilliard Simons. William Graham Simpson. Rowan Olivia Skinner. Nicholas John Smorowski. Brandon Lee Smith.
Good work.
Jaden Troy Smith. Sylvie Estelle Sabatka. Sarah Esther Suku. Audrey Elizabeth Stephenson. Jameson Stockwell. Lin Sung. Lawani Zhang Serpitsky. Ermias Alam Tedessa. Asher Breslow Testa. Giovanna Marie Thompson. Oliver Paul Teneo Capello. Valerie Trevino. Owen Timchuk. Anais Isabella Viero. Aiden Elise Villa. Ella Claire Wag. Jack Thomas Wagner. Jack Tyler Walcox. Nathan Watson. Elijah Leroy Webb. John Joseph Welch. William James Weller. Cosima Ruger Whiteley. Brady Cooper Worrell. Peyton Mary Worrell. Adeline Page Williams-Ness. Jung-ho Woo. Lily Elizabeth Woods. Marco Jeffrey Wuchnik. Julie Yan. Kyle Yang. Carson William Yates. Julia Sue Yates. Julian Albert Yuck. Ariel Adereme Zeitlin. Janice Acha Zamperi. Leo Zhao. Melody Sun Zhao. Rich Q.Y. Joe. Zohan Sapash. Please rise for the Deerfield Evensong.
Class of 2026, your life is blessed. Rejoice always, do good, endlessly give thanks, and go forth into the world that awaits you. For you, on this day of divergence, pride is what we carry. Class of 2026, go forth.